This is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Welcome to Dig on America, where we speak truth to power. Every week, we give you the dig on how American history, policies, and media created the social and political issues we face today. DoA is independent media supported by listeners, but they'll tell you we're just fake news, deep state propaganda, funded by George Soros, the Clinton Foundation, BLM Marxists, and
Howard the Duck.
Dr. Robotnik. Come
Am I
on,
supposed to
Tony.
come
You
up with
saw,
something?
come on,
Yeah,
Tony.
come up with somebody.
You
Who
saw
you
the
got?
last one.
You got a quick
Well,
Ben Shapiro mouth.
Yeah, well, the right wing's been saying Midas Touch is supporting the Rogan takedown. So I'm on. I'm funded by Rogan. Let's just say that. There you go.
Too far. A bridge too far. No.
Ray, would there be any?
Mikey didn't like that. Mikey didn't like that. All right.
Ray, would there be any character from pop culture or Hollywood that you think might be sponsoring the show this week?
SpongeBob? I don't know.
SpongeBob SquarePants. I've always wanted SpongeBob's money. Squidward, send me your money as well. Perfect answer. All right. So welcome back, everyone, to Dig on America, second half of the show. I'm here with the empty space, I guess that way.
I pissed Mikey off. I guess the Spotify Rogan reference.
That way.
And,
well, interestingly enough, and we are back here, and we have Ray Reed, who is running for Congress in Missouri's 2nd District. We also have the fabulous Tony Michaels with us from the Tony Michaels podcast. And we have Michael Faminier, and I'm guessing we'll probably have Big Haas at some point. So today we are going to talk a little bit of history, and we're also going to talk about a little shit that's going on.
Apologies. The producer pup was thirsty. And he was really mad that I trapped him in the office with me. So I had to go get him some water.
He's an essential part of the show. He's an essential part of the show.
He's how to let you know if your audio is clipping. He'll clip it for you to see if your clip recognizer is working properly.
He's worth twice his weight in gold.
About 4.5 pounds of gold then. So
today we're going to do a dig. Today's history topic is going to be on Reconstruction. So because of Black History Month, we're gonna talk about that.
No, we're not. No, we are not. We're going to put bomb.
I wasn't going there yet. I was prefacing. So we'll get to that as I was saying in a few minutes. But first, we are going to play a little game with Tony, and then we're going to play I'll tell you what, let's start out the show and play the second game with both of them right away. You want to do that, Mikey, or how you want to do this? I do 4 down and then do prank one, or should we wait?
I like prank one at the very end of everything. Whoever lasts to the end, you get to do the fun.
Okay, all right. We'll play another game with you guys later. So we're going to play a game here with Tony. This and then, by the way, this is Tony Michaels from the Tony Michaels podcast. It's a very elegant show. He talks very slowly.
Yeah, it's a very eloquent show.
Yeah, nothing like the left-wing Ben Shapiro. Yeah, no cursing. It's like
he's
church.
He's really good with his words. He's quite elephant.
Yeah.
Yes, right. He's great, and he's great with puppies as well. Yeah. He loves. He's great with puppies. So we're gonna play a game with him called 4 Down Territory. Go. Yes, yes, sir.
Can I say one thing?
You may.
I see your obvious pandering to the Black community with that fucking dope ass Muhammad Ali poster.
You see that? And,
What's my name? What's my name? What's my? Oh.
Yeah. Well, I like winners. And I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
You love Trump. I knew that you loved me.
Yeah,
Tony.
That's it.
He said he likes winners, and there's nobody that's a bigger winner than
you gotta
me.
Get the threading.
Nobody's a bigger winner than I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Tony, big fan. A lot of people have told me Tony Michaels supports Donald Trump. A lot of people told me, they're very important people have told me. But now we're going to call an audible and play 4 Down Territory with Tony. So
here it is. Here we go. Buckle up.
Hike. See, I tricked you. I went straight to the hike. Oh, there. So we'll ask you 4 questions. You'll give us 4 answers. These are non-political, for the most
Sure.
part, just dumb shit. So we will start out. Mikey, why don't you go with the first question, sir?
You only get one. Favorite 80s band.
Favorite 80s band.
Don't get this wrong.
favorite
They're
favorite
queued
80s
they're
band.
queued up in the chat. They're ready to rip you to shreds.
Oh man. See, I should have been ready for this. I dumped the 70s rock band on Ray. So I'm gonna say ZZ Top. I'm gonna say ZZ Top. So
all right.
ZZ Top is kind of 70s, but
well, 70s. Come on, man. 70s.
But we
80s,
let it go for Ray. We'll let it go for you.
Well,
Okay.
You got we got the 10-year grace period.
Yeah, well, they say the 80s is from 85 to 95, so maybe I'm way off.
You can only get one. Sci-fi or comic book movies for the rest of your life. That's all you have access to. So stuff like Justice League, Avengers, or Star Trek and Star Wars. Which genre do you choose?
Definitely comic books, but I could go without the DC. I could just do the Marvel. I'm good with that.
All right, we don't accept any DC slander on this show.
Well,
the hell you say?
I always piss people off. It's a thing that I do. You either love me or you love to hate me. One or the other.
Ray, do you have a question you'd like to ask Tony?
Yeah, get him, Ray.
Get him back.
To settle the debate for America, yes or no? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
This is
a hot dog a sandwich.
These are you get the tough questions here.
Ray, you're from St. Louis. You're not from Chicago. What in the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here, man? It depends on where you're at, but no, a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Thank you.
No, it's not a sandwich.
Vertical fucking bread.
St. Louis is just another Chicago suburb. Okay.
How dare
says the guy who's not from St. Louis, right?
I have on good authority that Dutch is actually from Gary, Indiana. That's why he says stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense now. That makes sense. He's from Gary.
I'm the king of pop.
You gonna put some respect on the king name. You better cool out. You better relax.
Mikey, you get the last question while I relax.
Oh, shit.
That was only three, goofball.
Shit. I probably should have been thinking of another question. All right.
What you got?
Speaking of that poster behind you that I already complimented. Ali versus Tyson. 12 rounds.
Ali. You don't have to answer it. Ali for 100%. Ali, 100%.
I have to agree with you because Mike said it, so I have to go with what Mike said.
It didn't matter what Mike said because Ali would punch his lights.
If they fought today, Tyson would still lose.
Shut up.
And Ali's not even around anymore. That's how much. That's how much better.
Why are you disrespecting?
Isn't Tyson going to fight or something? Isn't he going to fight? Didn't they say he's going to fight?
Whoever it is, they better just.
I mean, it's a money game. It's to get our money, but he's going to fight.
Wasn't he fighting? Was it Roy Jones or Floyd or something? He was going to fight.
Yeah, he did. Roy Jones. They already did that fight.
Oh, didn't they?
It was like a little exhibition. They weren't really going all out.
It was just It is money. It's all money.
Yeah,
these YouTubers boxing and shit.
Yo, get the little Logan Paul boys. Get their asses to fight Mike. I will fucking pay top dollar for that shit. Because Mike will break the man. And I want Mike to go all out.
Go all out. All right. So we're going to talk about two things here today. Again, we have a history topic. Mikey, do you want to do the dig first, or you want to talk about Joe Rogan and our future?
Ooh, I'd love to talk about Joe Rogan.
We'll do Joe Rogan because we did a Patreon exclusive. So if Big House misses that part, it won't be so bad.
Okay, that's a good idea.
You can get the dig.
Because we haven't heard from him yet, but he may be busy. So we'll hold the dig off for a minute here. I want to talk about Joe Rogan for a minute. So obviously we had some tapes that came. I still actually haven't had a chance to listen to them, but I've had a chance to have conversation about them with some people who kind of gave me some pretty good context as to what's going on, like the whole gorilla thing. And, obviously the use of the hard R over and over again. There's a big conversation. Is he racist? Is he not? All of that. But there's also a big movement for people to leave Spotify. because Joe Rogan's show is exclusive to Spotify. And we had that conversation last week after the show between the three of us, as far as like, what do we do? And I kind of wanted to throw that out there as well. But before we do that, as far as Joe Rogan goes, we'll defer to the guests. Tony, if you want to just give us your thoughts on what's going on with Joe Rogan first.
Well, I mean, I can speak to a couple different things on Joe Rogan. Number one, the Spotify thing. I won't deplatform myself just because he's a fucking idiot.
We'll get to that part.
But as far as Joe Rogan goes, I mean, today on the show, I actually diced through the Trevor Noah statements that he made, and Trevor did a really good job of kind of dicing through not only the apology, but kind of the talk in the country of when white people can say the N-word, when they can't, and all this conversation. But you know, the thing is with Rogan, the guy hides behind comedy. They do this a lot. The guy wants to have commentary and commentary all at the same comedy and commentary all at the same time, because he is a stand-up, right? He's got a stand-up act, and it's been racist as fuck for years. Like he hasn't hid, right? He hadn't hid this shit. It's not like these videos that he had were of people secretly recording him saying the N-word or saying racist shit. That's not what it is. This guy was fucking writing the shit, saying the shit, recording the shit, and then publishing the shit. Like, that's what he was doing. He was publishing what he was saying because he thinks it's fucking funny. Now, he may think it's funny, and the guys that he's around may think it's funny, but the most important thing here is his fucking audience thinks it's hilarious. And they think it's great commentary, and they think it's the thing that they want to hear. That's why he's saying it. I mean, now, whether Joe Rogan really is a racist or not, I guess that's a conversation for other people to have than me. You know, but this whole fucking this defending him of he's hired black people and he talks to black people and like, holy shit, you're gonna do the I have a black friend thing? Like, really? Yes. That's the fucking thing you're gonna do? That's how you're gonna defend him? And the craziest part is my co-host Gabe Sanchez put out a tweet, and he got some racist fucking shit back on him, like go back to Mexico and all kinds of shit. So literally he says Joe Rogan's a racist and he should be held accountable, and they're like, no, he's not. And then they say racist shit to him. Like, you know, exactly. This is what Spotify bought. And I don't mean to bring it back to Spotify, but that literally is the reason why we're in the situation we're in with Joe Rogan, is because Spotify bought the audience that wants to hear racist shit. And Joe Rogan, it doesn't, like, Joe Rogan's not the thing here. Like, I mean, he is today, but it really, there's an audience out there that wants to hear this stuff. So Spotify, if they give a platform to whoever wants to say this to that audience, they're going to. Rather it's like Barstool with the Stoolies, with like Dave Portnoy or whoever it is, they're going to say racist shit to these people who are racist and love to hear it because it's marketable to these fragile white males. That's the problem that we have, is that we haven't gotten past that people don't understand that you don't have to be racist to be cool, white dude. You don't have to be racist to be cool. It's not a cool thing anymore. This is fucking 2022. This isn't 1940 or 1950.
But that's the only way Daddy will love me.
Well, you know, I mean, I
have
guess
to out racist is racist, and then he'll love me.
Well, you know,
I love my daddy.
It's about to me, and I can't really speak too much for Joe Rogan, like I said, because I don't listen to him. I've listened to 3 episodes of his show. I had to think about this because I was talking about it yesterday of how many episodes I've listened to. I listened to the Candace Owens episode because I heard she said some really stupid shit about climate change, and he owned her. So I listened to that. I think I listened
to fucking racist.
Yeah, I listened to I think Ben Shapiro on there because I heard he owned him on something. And back when I liked Sam Harris, I listened to Sam Harris on there because Sam Harris owned Joe Rogan on something. I might have seen a couple of other clips, but like, I'm not a Joe Rogan guy. I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I like independent podcasts, small guys like Tony, ourselves, you know, Jock and Nerd, Delvin, the guys that we hang with in the podcast community.
Real quick. I was just on Delvin's show yesterday. That should be coming out next week sometime.
Oh, you were on Delvin Cox yesterday? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll have to promote that when it comes. Delvin's show, guys, by the way, if you guys don't listen to it, the Delvin Cox Experience is fucking fantastic show. So check out our boy Delvin. But what these right wingers and these covert right wingers try to do is they try to covert their way into being able to say more cancelable shit, but still having that plausible deniability there. And what I'm reading from Joe Rogan is that Joe Rogan wants to be canceled. He wants to be a victim of cancel culture, and he's just pushing the envelope as far as he can so that then he can cry and be a snowflake and pretend that he's the victim here of cancel culture. And what will that do? That will bring him more of a diehard right-wing audience. I literally was having a conversation the other day with what the fuck is his name? Richard something or other, the guy who put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. That guy, me and him were arguing in a Twitter space the other day. And I verified that it was indeed him and not just somebody using his name. I went back while I was trolling him later, and who's he following? For, like, you know how when you go on someone's Twitter followers, you can see who they're following? He had just followed Joe Rogan like 4 follows ago. So like he was like, oh, look, this guy's one of us now. He's just racist enough where I can start saying this. And this particular guy, the guy who had his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, was propagating the Irish slaves myth to me. And then telling me
you mean in the spaces? In the
Twitter spaces, yes. And I'll give you his Twitter handle off air so you can go troll.
Oh, I've got it.
Did you see it when I tweeted it out? I tweeted it out the other day.
And then Gabe trolled him, and almost immediately after we started trolling him,
he blocks.
He locked his account.
He locks his account, but then he blocks because so you can't tag him either.
I got Andrew Yang to take down his black friend tweet the other day. He put up that black friend shit. You know, Andrew Yang. Oh, Rogan has black friends or whatever the fuck he was trying to say. I said,
and if I had said that about somebody saying Asian,
Andrew
shit,
Yang said that.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And I called him out on Twitter. No, and he deleted that tweet within 30 seconds.
Andrew Yang. I'm a fan of Andrew Yang for the most part, but.
You had to fuck it up, Andrew.
Oh, he stepped in it big time, and he wouldn't shut up. He wouldn't quit tweeting. He just made it worse and worse and worse. He didn't really want to put the shovel down. But I mean, he deleted the original tweet and the thread, the second tweet after that. I mean, he basically said the same shit that people have been saying with Rogan is he's worked with black people and he's got black friends and he's had black people on his podcast. And, you know, I've been on his podcast and I know, and, you know, just this again. I come from white America. I'm a white dude. I know the tropes. I know what they say. I know what they do. I'm not a racist, but
they say stuff when we're around. They say stuff when we're around that they won't say when other people are around.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we just know that. We know when they go like this and they look back. Hey, there's Big Haas. So Ray, are you paying attention at all to this? I mean, I don't even know if you have an opinion.
Yeah. So I listen to Joe Rogan because I am a huge Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm a huge nerd, really. But I love
Neil deGrasse Tyson. And, Star Talk is my favorite.
And Brian Green has been on the show a couple times, so I checked in on those episodes. But as far as the conversation of a white person saying the N-word, I'm not gonna say you can't say it. I'm just going to say you shouldn't want to say it, given the history that comes behind the word. Just leave it at that.
Well, and you should also be prepared for the social consequences that come with that. So, Haas, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up? What's going on, y'all?
Wrong mic.
Wrong mic, homie.
Wrong mic. Switch your mic. Mikey, Joe Rogan, while Haas fixes that. Go ahead.
He's always been this giant moron, and now you've given a giant moron $100 million contract and the largest platform to spew idiotic moron things. This was bound to happen. I knew as soon as Spotify gave him that money, I'm like, they're going to regret that. They're going to regret that. And it didn't take all but, how long has it been on there? Since January?
I think it's been a year. Yeah.
Oh, has it been a whole year?
It's been a while. You know, back to Ray's point, because he was talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Joe Rogan is a fucking idiot. Like, he's a fucking idiot. But he's always been willing to have good conversations with sometimes decent people, like, that have real ideas, and he's been able to sell these conversations in the platform of a podcast. And it's entertaining as shit when he does it. So what has happened though is is that the Spotify, him, and the podcast universe has figured out that there's a hell of a lot of money and a hell of a lot of advertising dollars when you're speaking to an audience that wants to hear this type of shit. Like, rather it be anti-vax stuff or it be this, this racist, haha, I'm funny shit. There's big money in that. And the reason why is because most of these fragile white males have lived in the sports, the sports arena, right? They've really lived in this macho machismo sports arena, but now they're bleeding over into politics because we're at the intersection of WrestleMania and real life, right? That's what I always say. Like this has got to a situation where instead of sports, they like politics, right? That's kind of what Trump did. That fucking idiot. That's kind of what he did to us is put us in a situation where, it's politics aren't serious. Government isn't serious. Policy and administrating legislation isn't serious. It's a joke. It's a funny show. It's reality TV. And we live in that world. And Rogan and Spotify are kind of taking advantage of that by selling their product to an audience, right? Where they used to sell it on the sports podcast, and now they're selling it on like the Joe Rogan show. So it's just a matter of distribution and distributing a message to a group of people who are going to eat advertising, right? I mean, because that's what it's about. Joe Rogan got $100 million from Spotify because Spotify said we can sell a shitload of ads to his audience. It ain't about Rogan. It's about the audience that they can sell the ads to. This is capitalism, baby. Joe Rogan is fucking replaceable. As long as there's another guy willing to sit in the chair and entertain these fucking racists, these fragile white males out there, and they can sell advertising to pump into these guys' fucking earphones, by God, they're going to find them. It doesn't have to be Rogan.
Pause that thought because I'm going to circle back to that in a second because that's going to segue us into the next part of this conversation. Big Haas, though, hopefully you're using.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now. Where are you at on the Joe Rogan thing?
Like Sam Snead said, fuck that motherfucker, bitch. Dude, come on, man. You know, hey, more than the can you and can you not say the N-word thing is when you start saying little shit like Planet of the Apes. That shit. That know what you're saying, and that speaks more to your heart than trying to. I want to just recite some rap lyrics or this or that. You know what I mean? When you start saying stuff like that's like what was my man with the nappy headed holes comment? What's his name? The broadcast.
Don Imus.
Don Imus,
who said that the Baylor basketball team was a bunch of gorillas, is what he said.
When Brittany Griner was there.
Fucker.
So
no, that was before Brittany Griner. He said then he started saying more shit again when Brittany Griner was there.
So that when you say Planet of the Apes, you know who, and if you don't mean it, you're playing to a base. And if you're
like Roseanne,
if you're the type that's willing to play to a base, and be like that, then guess what? That speaks to your heart, because guess what? If you're race comfortable, you might as well be racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it led, like I got asked in a space yesterday if I thought Joe Rogan was racist, and I told him, I said, honestly, I can't answer that question because I don't listen to Joe Rogan. Right. But I think that obviously he has at least enough implicit bias within him to be able to be comfortable saying things that are racist. Mm-hmm. So people can do racist things and not be racist. I think most people agree on that. But but then the doubling down is where the issues start to come. And he's going to continue to propagate bad ideas.
I saw this video where he apologized, supposedly, though.
Well, I heard the same thing that Tony was talking about. I heard the Trevor Noah recap of the apology, and Trevor Noah said that he thought the apology, if I'm remembering correctly, he said that he thought the apology was okay. But
Trevor Noah don't speak for black people. Hold on.
I never said that, but all I said is that that's the only thing I heard about it. Because honestly, I don't care about Joe Rogan. I care about Dig on America, right? I care about independent shows, and I care about good ideas. Good ideas should be popular with people, right? That's why Ray's campaign should be popular, because Ray has good ideas. He pushes good ideas, and that should be popular. But we live in a society where ivermectin, I could literally, like, this is where I can prove to people who, like, we get trolls on this show all the time who say, oh, you go into Twitter Spaces to build your audience. Are you fucking stupid? Of course I do. Why the fuck else do you think I have a Twitter account in the first place? Is to grow the audience of the fucking podcast. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a goddamn Twitter, right? Ray wouldn't have a Twitter for his campaign if he wasn't trying to grow his that grassroots campaign. There's no reason to have it if you're not using social media to get your voice out there. But if we wanted to have a lot of listeners to this show right now, if we wanted to have 70,000 people tune in right now, I could do it. All I have to do is say I have on some doctor who's going to prove that ivermectin works and that vaccines actually killed 11 people in Toledo, Ohio yesterday. Which obviously
I'm happy. I'm happy that you had me. Then I'm happy.
Yeah. So Dr. Michaels, tell us about
right.
Tell us about how Lysol cures coronavirus, and all we have to do is rub it under our fingernails, you know. And it's like, and have someone I could have someone on this podcast who will say that they were walking down the street 7 months after they got vaccinated, got hit by a car because they didn't pay attention, and it must be because that they died because of the vaccine. You know, because anything bad that happens to you after you have the vaccine must be because of it. And I can just propagate those ideas on here and push that envelope. And people will tune in and listen to it. And guess what? They'll become super big fucking fans. And they'll be like, oh, these guys are truthers. Fuck you and fuck them. I don't want that. We don't need that shit. So, but it does move us to
fuck you and fuck
Tony's
You're
comment,
cool.
though.
Fuck you.
And fuck you and fuck you. But Tony's comment, though, does bring us to the larger issue of, do we leave Spotify? And Tony made the comment. So go back and make the same comment you made before, and then we'll have that lead into the conversation.
Oh,
Tony,
well, I mean, you're talking to me? I mean, I have my opinion on what my my podcast is and my show is, and I'm not going to deplatform myself from Spotify. Now, in full disclosure, I get more fucking downloads from Apple than Spotify. So, and I publish my shit on Spotify, and I dice Spotify and have been dicing them for the last week. But here's my opinion, is that everyone's got to make their own choice, right? About Spotify. Whether you're a music artist, whether you have podcasts, whether you're, whoever you are, whatever you're going to speak out against. But here's my view of it for my show in particular, is that I feel like my voice is a voice against Rogan. And I'm very disappointed when I see shows that are a voice against Rogan, because I'm a messaging guy. That's what I want to do, is message and get the message out there, because I feel like that's the most important thing in the political body of things. And again, we were talking about politics and government, but when you're talking about politics in particular, which Joe Rogan is not political, he's a clown. But the thing is I'm not going to deplatform my message. And I'm very disappointed when I watch people who have a voice against them deplatform themselves, because that's less message to the people who you want to talk to. Right. I mean, in a time where we're in a dire strait, where we need to get people like Ray elected, we're gonna deplatform our messaging from Spotify. Look, Spotify just didn't Spotify too. If you're really gonna fucking boycott Spotify, if that's what you're really gonna do, you're gonna have to take your damn podcast off of 50% of the platforms that it's distributed on, because Spotify owns about 50% of them. So this boycott thing, where I think it really took a turn from the boycott message to when the clips that Alex Jones made, because let's be clear, those tapes that were released by Patriot Takes and started circulating around, whether it be the N-word collage that he had, or the Planet of the Apes stuff that the little back and forth that he had, all that was done by Alex Jones. It was just republished on the internet. This isn't any big surprise that this stuff exists. It's just how it goes. But when you talk about that deplatforming yourself and taking that message down, I believe that it's a disservice to the people who want to hear that messaging, who should hear that messaging, against the garbage, like you're saying, where they get fucking Dr. whomever, whatever the fuck they are, Dr. Dumbfuck on, and Dr. Dumbfuck talks about how he's good, you just drink Pine Sol and that'll cure what ails you and that kind of shit, right? So we need to be careful about how we're deplatforming the message. Yes, is Spotify playing this capitalism game where they're selling advertising to the, like I said earlier, the racist audience? Absolutely they are. They're in the business to make money, and they find it very, very financially profitable when they sell their advertising to a certain group of people who love that racist message and who love the anti-vax, who love to listen to Dr. Dumbfuck tell them what they want to hear. So,
yeah, and just for those watching on video, I guess somehow we lost Ray and Mikey within about 30 seconds, so I'm sure they'll get back in. But I
think Ray had to go.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
Ray
did he post something in the Okay, so that's I don't.
And then
Mikey
got kicked out. Okay, so Mikey will be back in. But thanks to Ray for joining the show. We know he's out east. So I agree with a lot of what you just said, Tony, and I want to get Haas's take on this because, obviously me and him are partners in this, but I think there's one other thing that you missed, and that is that we could do the ethical thing and take ourselves, off of Spotify.
Well,
that really hurts.
The ethical thing,
right?
Well,
that's
what
I'm arguing.
But let me get to that point, and then I want to get Haas and Mikey's thought on this. That would be, to a lot of people, that is the ethical thing, and to me, maybe it is the ethical thing. But then you think about what Tony just said. So we're going to take a good voice off because there's a bad voice there. That's number one. Number two, it hurts us way more than it hurts fucking Spotify, because that reach means more to us than the 70 downloads a month that we get from Spotify, right? We're like Tony, we're 90 something % Apple. We get 800 downloads a month off of Apple and like 90 off of Spotify, and then the other 300 are from somewhere else. So Spotify is number two, but like it's that reach is more important to us because it helps us build our Patreon. Spotify pays us $0 a month. Now I do get the people switching from Spotify to like Apple Music or Pandora or something of that nature. Like that's a completely different conversation, and I'm cool with that.
You talking about the musicians, or
no? I'm talking about like just subscribers of people who have.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
who pay the $10 a month to Spotify. That's a completely different conversation. We're talking about posting content to Spotify.
Right.
So the third and final part of that is that you think there's not shitty ass content on YouTube. The Great Awakening is a fucking QAnon channel here on YouTube. You've got, I can comb through Apple podcasts. Apple has way more shows than Spotify does. I'm sure that there's, right wingers love to say how they're being censored, but there's way more fucking right wing media on iTunes and on YouTube, and I'm sure on Twitch than there is on Spotify. So basically I'm selecting the big dinosaur in the room and going from there. So, I mean, if our listeners want us to leave Spotify, great. We'll listen to our listeners once the Patreon money comes in. It's
but here's the thing though. If your listeners aren't going to listen to you on Spotify, what the hell's the difference? Publish it over there anyways. All I'm saying is when you go to a protest, right? When you go to a protest that you're protesting Nazis and the Nazis show up on the other side of the street, you're not like, oh my God, well, they showed up here at the protest, so we're leaving. Fuck that shit. You want to go belly to belly into the fight of ideas. And you want to win with competition. The best way to do it is to win in competition. Yeah. Do you have to fuck with the company like Spotify, who their ultimate goal is their bottom line? Sure. But that's anywhere you go. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Walmart or if it's whatever company it is. They're always thinking about their bottom line. That's the country that we fucking live in. And look, the game is the game. The rules are the rules. And you either gonna get in it and play it and compete, or you're not. And that's just the way I feel. Now, I will say that anyone out there who who doesn't agree with them pumping a racist ass message to an audience because they make money, I completely agree with their choice to take away their Spotify subscription. I think that's a good way for someone to protest, to take away that subscription,
or boycott the people who are running ads on Joe Rogan more directly.
And that's the more important point, because I actually see some valid points where advertisers are leaving Spotify. What I mean by that, because Spotify is a different platform than like Apple or anything like that. So Spotify is selling ads inside those shows. Well, when you have an advertiser like XYZ Acme company, maybe they're selling,
from Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But whatever they're selling, right? When they buy an ad space from Spotify, they don't get to choose if it's on Rogan or if it's on my show, if it's on your show, or if it's here or there. So I can see that is a spot where advertising dollars can actually go. They can go to Spotify and say, "Fuck you, we're not spending our money." You talk about Spotify getting scared when their advertisers aren't spending money to place in those ads or in those shows to make money, because that's the whole fucking game. The whole fucking game. Everyone thinks it's a subscription part. That's their music business. Spotify was originally that music platform. The podcast business on their podcast side is not subscription based.
No, you get it for free.
Bro, most of those fucking podcasts you can go listen to on another platform for no money, right?
Yeah.
So that the business model on the podcast side is the advertisers. Now here's where I think it took a turn. Here's where I think it took a turn, and here's where I think Joe Rogan's fucked. And I don't mean that he's going to lose his show. His content's going to change. That's what's going to happen. Spotify's going to go to him, have a come to Jesus moment, and say, "Hey, you got to change, or we're cutting you loose, and you're just going to go back to the old way that it was." Here's what happened.
How does that hurt him?
Yeah, I'm not sure that hurts him.
I don't actually think it hurts him, and I think he can do that. Now, there was supposedly a news article today where he turned down a fucking deal with some kind of right-wing network or some shit for $100 million to get him to walk away. He turned it down because he's not political. He's not political. He's just not, and I don't think he's going to get in the political game. He doesn't want to do that. But here's what I will tell you: when Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, entered the conversation, that's when the shit fucking changed. And the reason why it fucking changed is because The Rock has a bigger goddamn microphone than Joe Rogan will ever fucking dream of. There's no way that Joe Rogan can ever compete with the microphone that Dwayne The Rock Johnson has. And that is the most important part, because you had some of these other artists, some of these other podcasts leaving, and it's not going to – Spotify wasn't scared. Joe Rogan wasn't scared. They didn't give a fuck. What do they care? Your microphone's smaller than my microphone, But when Dwayne Johnson steps up and changes his position after seeing the tapes that were released by Patriot Takes on Twitter and gone viral, and he flipped the script and he said, "You know what? I'm fucking wrong. He shouldn't have said that shit. It's wrong. I'm not going to support him." And also he apologized to a lot of people that he pissed off, and he did it in a classy way that The Rock should have. He handled it perfectly well. And I'm telling you, that's why Joe Rogan did the fucking thumb apology. I mean the thumb apology, because he holds the fucking camera weird. He looks like a fucking thumb. He does. He looks like a fucking thumb in that video. But he did that half-ass apology, and he basically said, "Sorry, I got caught. I'm sorry you found all my videos." Right. I mean, this is the way that it's gonna be. Really, in my opinion, is his apology should have been two ways, not the way he did it. It should have been no apology at all and kept quiet, or said, "Fuck you, I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and say whatever I want," because that's what he was trying to say. He was trying to say, "I'm sorry you caught me saying this shit. I mean, I'm really not sorry I said it because it's funny."
And,
ha 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 ha. That's
one thing that's important to remember. And sorry, listeners, I have to scold you now, children. You guys kind of relinquish your right to be upset when you don't do your part to support smaller things. Like you look at other people's shows and say, "Well, you're still on Spotify." Mm-hmm. Yes, motherfucker, I have to be on Spotify. I had no choice in hiring Joe Rogan. I'm not just part of the leadership team over at Spotify and I make these decisions. No, I'm just trying to get my fucking shows out so I can fucking do something with this little thing I got going over here.
Yeah.
If people are supported, then they don't have to go to the big conglomerate fucking First International Bank of Podcasts, which is Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to go to these fucking nasty people to get our RSS feed out there because we're supported by y'all. I've always hated when people complained about the music industry and how shitty the music is. And I say, cool. When's the last time you went to a concert? Bet. When's the last time you purchased an album? Bet. Then don't fucking complain about how everything sounds the same. And how everyone, like when Mumble Rap popped up, I was like, all right, which local artists have you been supporting? Well, you know, I just listen to the classics. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then you can shut the fuck up then. You have erased yourself from the conversation completely, and you can no longer complain. This, like, industries like music and podcasts, that shit is like Project Mayhem. You decide your own level of involvement. Either you are 10 toes deep or you're a casual. So be a casual, but also don't think that everyone should care about your opinions about certain things that happen in that industry when you don't want to get both of your feet wet. If you want to just sit there and play in the surf, that's fine. But if you're trying to be in this thing, swimming against fucking great whites like fucking Joe Rogan, I'm not trying to hear no bullshit like, you know, I don't know, guys. I don't think we should really be swimming in the ocean or any, like, it's always this, the little guy is always fucked. So the big guys can do whatever the fuck they want, and everybody gives them praise and adulation. But if you're a little channel just trying, then it's like, well, you need to follow the same rules as the big dudes. It's like, no, I don't get the support that the big dudes get. Give me the support that the big dudes get, and I'll do the same shit that you're talking about.
Big Haas.
Big Hussein.
Big
Yes,
Haas, a ding dong.
Yes, sir.
Go.
What's up?
We want to hear your opinion.
Here's what I think.
What you think?
What you be thinking, Big Haas?
I think of it like this. You know, as far as Rogan is concerned, all of the I'm not racist, I don't see color people. Those are the motherfuckers who need to put their fucking dicks on the table or whatever when they hear what he said. You know, all those I'm not racist, but I don't see color. I'm nice to everyone. I respect everyone. Well, when you hear how disrespectful he's been, instead of making excuses for why it's okay and thus exposing yourself as the opposite of what you say you are, you're supposed to be like, all right, I'm writing in to Rogan. I'm talking to Rogan. I'm telling Rogan I'm not listening anymore. I'm talking to Spotify and saying, hey, y'all need to get him off of there. You know, I'm a former Rogan supporter. And upon hearing his drivel and his blithering idiocy, I see now that he is not representative of me or anyone else. And we need to get him off of there because, of course, there's freedom of speech, but there's not freedom from consequences.
Right.
You know?
And you know how this, just for those who don't know, real quick, how this all started was with the, he had on a guy, and I don't remember the doctor's name, but it was like a virologist or something like that who was on his show like a couple months ago.
I know who you're talking about.
And the guy, we don't need to platform his name anyway, but Dr. Doolittle, Dr. Ding Dong.
Dumbfuck. I called him Dr. Dumbfuck. That's where I got it.
Dr. Dumbfuck. I like that. So Dr. Dumbfuck goes on Joe Rogan. He's talking about, ivermectin and all that stuff. But then he starts talking about the vaccine. So it turns out that this guy was, according to himself, one of the innovators of mRNA technology. Okay.
Sure it was.
So he and so the talking points on the right wing became, if the guy who invented mRNA is telling you to worry about vaccines, then you should worry about vaccines, the mRNA vaccine specifically, even though there's this new one coming out, Novavax or whatever it's called, that's completely traditional, and they're going to rag on that one too. They already have started. But so it's not about mRNA, it's about COVID. But anyway, so this doctor, it turns out if you do the research, like they always tell me to do, this doctor was not an innovator of mRNA. Now, he was a very brilliant biologist or whatever the medical term was that he was. I don't remember, so forgive me. But he was an innovator in that field, that's for sure. And he did some of the early work that eventually became mRNA after other scientists over 2 decades built on that platform. It's kind of like saying that Thomas Edison invented the stoplight. You know, even though Thomas Edison stole the light bulb also, but you're giving Thomas Edison the credit.
Thomas Edison's fucking light bulb wouldn't have worked if the black guy who invented the filament that actually lasts.
Well, isn't that the story of America? White people always appropriating black people's talents and their inventions and their music and their culture. That's the fucking story of America.
Well, of course it is. And that's kind of what our digs are on every week. But, you know, it's like, so the James Webb Space Telescope was just launched. Are we going to give credit to Galileo for that? Yeah. Directly? No, you're going to say, hey, you know what?
Galileo, he's an innovator, man.
Yeah, but no one in their right mind would say that Galileo invented the James Webb Space Telescope. And obviously that's a more extreme example. But you get the point. This guy was early on in the process, and you add this caveat to it that he didn't feel that he got the credit he deserved. Right. So he was mad.
He ain't getting paid. Right. He acted like not getting paid was the thing that why he was a warrior. And it's like, no, you're pissed off. You ain't getting paid. There's fucking millions of dollars, millions of these vaccines being sold, and you ain't getting a nickel.
He felt left out in the cold, and he's angry. His butt hurt. Yeah. And he's a snowflake, and he's bitching against the establishment because he didn't get to be a piece of the pie.
Dare you call
I did not
tell you a secret?
Credit.
Can I tell you a secret about Dr. Dumbfuck? So he was in the news today. Dr. Dumbfuck was on Tucker Carlson's show, and he was slamming Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan apologized. That's what's going to happen. These people, that's what I was saying about The Rock with the bigger fucking microphone, and why Joe Rogan doesn't understand what's going to happen to him is because he's constantly talking about how, Spotify lets me do whatever I want, and I don't give a fuck, and all this. Well, he gave a fuck, and he looks like he gave a fuck. And his little fragile white male audience is going to go, oh, you bent to the will of the corporations. But here's what I'll tell you. That's right. Here's what I'll tell you about doctors.
Jon Snow.
That's right. I'll tell you the doctor situation on Joe Rogan. In 2020, in March of 2020, about 3 days before San Francisco completely shut down, Joe Rogan had a doctor on, a really smart doctor, knows a lot about vaccines, knows a lot about virology.
I know where you're going.
He had him on March, and Joe Rogan actually, at the time, he was not only for vaccines, he was calling anti-vaxxers and the people he has on dumb fucks. He's saying these people are stupid, and that's the key with Joe Rogan is he's not a real voice. He is a fucking guy who's creating content for an audience who are dumb fucks. They're complete, utter fucking dumb fucks. They have no clue about who invented what, and they're not going to go look this shit up. They're going to listen to whatever Joe Rogan says, and the reason why is because they think it's actual commentary. It's not commentary. He's just a very interesting person, if you want to call him that. And he gives this way of talking to someone in an interview with a conversation that hypnotizes people into believing anything that's said during that conversation, no matter if the last episode that he did says the exact opposite fucking thing. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. And that's the world that we live in. And that's what I'm saying about people deplatforming their message, because we have to remember that all these people out there aren't political. Like, you know, there's more fucking people that were concerned about Tom Brady retiring in Deflategate than they are about what bills on the United States Senate floor, right? They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't give a shit.
That requires actual thought.
That's right. Well, and it requires that you step outside your comfort zone, right? And a lot of people's comfort zone is what community they live in, what school their kids go to, what job they have, and then what sports they're going to watch and what reality TV show they're going to consume that day. And then what podcast they might watch in between going to work and coming home, right? All in between that. And a lot of times it's Rogan because he's got names on there that aren't fucking serious. He's got a lot of comedians that come on there, and he attracts them with that. He attracts that audience with those shows, with those interesting dialogues in this conversation interview type thing, right? And that's how he's drawn some of these people in. And he built this audience of fragile white males. And one way he did it was with the UFC, right? Now, not to say that only white males watch the UFC, but he really sold and he really built an audience around that dichotomy, right? And because of that, he's able to sell a lot of this shit to this audience, and they eat it like fucking cake, man. They love this shit. They love.
His fans are super loyal.
Oh, dude, it's like the Stoolies with Barstool Sports. They love to whine and bitch about how they're oppressed when they are not even fucking close to it. Like, this is the furthest thing from the fucking truth, that white dudes in this country are somehow oppressed. You are a dumb fuck if you're a white dude and you think that. But they love that. They love that. And the reason why I
haven't gotten my white privilege check yet.
Right, exactly.
What did someone I just thought I heard "Wish you a Merry Christmas." What the
It sounds
Where'd
like
that come from?
Sounds like
that was weird.
It's God.
Yeah, we gotta wait. Joe Rogan is breaking into the podcast and talking to us. He is God. So Haas, you commented on Joe Rogan, but as far as deplatforming our show, where are you at?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Why?
So,
Why? That's like, oh, that person is lying and I'm telling the truth, so I'm gonna stop telling the truth.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like canceling your Facebook page because of anti-vaxxers being on there. So, all right. So we're just like Thor said, so long as we're all in agreement. It's an end game reference there, right?
I'm agreed. I think you guys should stay on every platform. And I want to go back to real quick what Mikey said, and I know you're running out of time, but Mikey said something about small podcasts, and one of the best platforms out there for small podcasts is Anchor FM, and Spotify owns that motherfucker. And for everyone to want independent podcasts to take their voices, whatever it is, whether they're talking about coffee or politics, for them to want to take their fucking podcast down because they live on Anchor FM, I think is a little greedy of anyone, for someone wanting to take their art and their creative work off Anchor FM, who was bought by Spotify, right? And that's a lot of times where those independent podcasts live, just on some of those single platforms that Spotify owns. And I think a lot of people don't understand that if you really do a boycott of Spotify, you're really hurting a lot of artists. It's not just people talking politics. It's not. These people are in creative spaces, and they're trying to be creative. Whether they get 90 downloads a month or they get 90,000. It doesn't matter. These people should be creative. We should have a space where everyone can speak their truth, and let the fucking audience decide what's true and what's not. Because I believe in this world, we're in a weird timeline, but I think we're in a place where people are really going to start to find out that the truth they've been told on Facebook and the ivermectin Facebook groups is all a bunch of bullshit. So that's my opinion.
All right. So as we close off this topic, and then we'll get to the dig, and we'll get out of here with the humidor. Let's play a quick game. This will help me with editing. Let's play a quick game with Tony. We do play one more game with our guests, and this game is called Prank One, Marry One, Snap One. So we are going to. So let's give you the center stage here. You probably played this game before in a different context, but in this game you're going to prank call one, or you can use prank as proxy for the F word, whatever you want. Marry one, and you're going to snap one away like Thanos, but you're not killing them, because that would violate terms of service.
That would violate terms of service, and we would never say that while streaming on the internet.
Right. So remember, Haas can bring
the
them
wrong
back.
Motherfucker on.
Well, Haas, don't worry. Haas will get the soul stone and bring them back. So
okay, good.
We're going to give you 3 people. So Mikey, why don't you've been on with him the longest? You have the best feeling. So you started out.
This is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make this the most unpleasant choice.
Let's do it.
Possible.
All right, let's go. Let's go for it.
We're not going with like fucking Pelosi and all your weirdo picks.
No, you pick it. I'm smart enough to follow off your coattails. Go ahead.
But I want this to be.
And then Haas will give us some plus size model that no one's heard of.
Why are you being a waiters?
Yeah, stop it.
I wasn't a waiters. I said a plus size model no one's heard of.
I ain't against having some meat. Cushion for the pushing. I ain't against that.
Hey, any old fool can drive straightaways. It take a real man to drive some curves.
All right, Mikey, you got it.
I'm more of the school of warfare. It's like, they're too fragile. I will break them. So I wanted to, really trying to. I almost want to pass because I got because you said you wanted to go more in like the Marvel area as opposed to the DC, and you totally skipped over the space stuff. So I had some space stuff like Star Wars, Star Trek stuff, but that's not going to work. He's a Marvel guy, so
are you trying to get a snap or are you trying to get a Mary?
I'm trying to get the Mary, but I'm trying to find the exact one that's gonna fucking got him. Gotta say Mary on that one.
All right. So if you're going for the Mary, I'll go for the Mary. Sometimes we play it backwards.
We always go for the Mary.
Go for the no. We've done the snap before. Not but we're gonna change. I'm gonna voice that change one day. Anyway, I'm going to go with Oh, we've done her before.
Giggity.
Yeah, giggity. Let's go with Jennifer Aniston.
I almost said that.
Jennifer Aniston?
I almost said that.
Oh, I'd fuck the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Hey. You have to wait. You have to wait till you get all
the hell out of her.
Oh, damn.
Wait, you gotta wait.
I'll prank the hell out of her. Sorry.
All right, let's go. Next one.
All right, Big House, you go. Jennifer Aniston was on my list, but I couldn't. I was like, someone else might get something better. Will that win? I'm trying to win.
It's hard to beat Jennifer Aniston. Anyway, Haas.
Yeah, well,
Hillary Duff.
Do you know who that is?
Who is Hillary Duff? Remind me.
He doesn't know who it is. She's
I probably know.
A Disney Channel star.
Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah, I got it.
All right. So he's going to accept Hillary Duff.
Yeah.
And Mikey?
This might do it for him because this will piss him off.
Topanga.
Dude, that's game over. Topanga wins every time.
That's Mary, dude. What are you talking about?
Topanga wins every time. I could have said that if I wanted to just OP break the game. Can we go Catwoman Halle Berry or Storm Halle Berry?
Okay, gotcha.
Either one.
Yeah.
All right, so you got Halle Berry. You got Jennifer
Storm
Aniston.
Halle Berry. Storm Halle Berry, though.
Yeah,
that one.
So she's in the Storm costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, with the white long,
and
eyeballs.
And Haas said Hillary Duff.
Okay, I got you. So I'm gonna prank the shit out of Jennifer Aniston. Prank the shit out of her. Now, I want to say that my wife watches Friends a lot, and she was gorgeous then. And even in the movie she's in now, you're like, God damn, do you fucking age?
Right. She's
black. Hey, black don't crack, and neither does Jennifer Aniston.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Now, as far as Halle Berry, whether it's Storm, whoever, I don't give a shit who it is. Halle Berry, I'm marrying that one.
She got a little crazy to her.
You would love. Hey, that's fine. That's what you want with a married woman. You want some crazy in there. You got to have some
excitement.
In your
Well,
life.
be a tire slash.
Well, I guess that leaves Hillary Duff as the one I'd snap. Okay. I don't want to, but I mean, the other two, I can't help but snap that one. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yes, I would prank the shit out of Jennifer Aniston. I would marry 4 times Halle Berry, whether it's Catwoman Halle Berry or Storm Halle Berry, whoever it is. I'm gonna marry that one all day long 4 times if I can.
Just not Monsters Ball Halle Berry.
Why not? I'm good with it.
Well, too soon after Billy Bob Thornton. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, well. and then I'd snap up. That's the order.
You snapped Duff beer. You're anti-alcohol. All right. So and for those of you listening to the show for the first time, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Dig on America.